Welcome to the Crown Commercial Service webinar for the Heat Networks and Electricity Generation Assets Dynamic Purchasing System, also known as HELGA. My name's Jan Williams and I'm joined today by my colleague Phil Harper, and we work on the HELGA Agreement supporting customers and suppliers. So firstly, we'd like to thank you for taking the time to join us on the webinar. And just to make you aware that this is focused on customers and their journey, we're aware that there are suppliers joining us today as well, but we can answer those supplier queries separately. So this webinar is pre-recorded and will be available for download from the CCS website after today's session. However, you do have the opportunity to ask questions during the webinar via the chat function. We'll collate those questions at the end of the session, and the full list of questions and answers will be shared with attendees. This webinar follows the Carbon Net Zero webinar that was held in July, and that identified the initial improvements that public sector organisations can make on their journey towards carbon net zero using CCS agreements. So during today's session, we're going to give you a short introduction to CCS. We'll explain how HELGA can help support your organisation's carbon net zero strategy through each stage using the CCS Carbon Net Zero guide. We'll then look into the specifics of the HELGA agreement and each of the services it provides, as well as explaining how a DPS compares to the traditional framework. And finally, we'll outline the customer procurement process via HELGA and explain some of the documents that we have that can assist you with your energy projects, and then onto what your next steps may look like. Firstly, we wanted to provide a brief overview of CCS and where the energy team sits within the organisation. We're an executive agency of the Cabinet Office operating as a trading fund. And CCS are the biggest public procurement organisation in the UK, and our purpose is to help all areas of the public sector source their common goods and services while also providing best value for money. Now, we deliver this through the commercial expertise of our people and via our customer-focused approach. We harness our bulk buying power and policy insight to ensure we deliver fit-for-purpose solutions for our customers. This slide shows each area of work that's covered within CCS and the commercial benefits developed for customers within each of our 4 pillars. And you can see the energy team sits within the buildings pillar of the organisation. There's a list of all CCS agreements on the Find and Agreements page of our website. So HELGA is the energy agreement that provides a compliant route for public sector organisations to be able to source a wide range of products and services across the energy industry. So we'll cover those offerings in more detail later on in the session, but first we'll look at our Carbon Net Zero guide and how HELGA can support each step of that journey. As public sector organisations, we should all be aware of carbon reduction targets and the need to reach carbon net zero by 2050, if not sooner. Organisations are looking to develop complete strategies that focus specifically on carbon reduction, and it's recognised that carbon management is a specialist field and not all organisations will have the necessary resources, knowledge or expertise in-house. So specialists can help your organisation in developing strategies and approaches to help your aspirations and achieve carbon reduction targets. The HELGA agreement can help you to find a specialist supplier specifically for your energy project. So finding the right path to work towards carbon net zero is challenging and brings together many different aspects of an estate. We recognise the challenges you may face, whether you're a large estate or a single building, and that's why we've created a guide for you to use to gauge where you are now and how to make some initial improvements. So we've got routes to additional and specialist support that can lead you through the steps, and the guide looks at how you can reduce your consumption, getting the best return on investment by just managing your energy more efficiently. And that's before you even start to think about any capital investment, for example, retrofits. So our approach focuses on 3 key steps to start you on your carbon net zero journey. So firstly, do you know and understand your energy and utilities data? Secondly, are you managing your demand and reducing consumption? And thirdly, are you making those changes over to carbon efficient solutions? So initially, step one is understand your data. So as an organisation, have you got access to and can you understand all of your energy and utilities data? From water bills to understanding your estate and even the meter types you have, there are many different elements to consider. So before you're able to manage the demand outlined in step 2, it's important that you have complete knowledge and understanding of your data. And through the HELGA agreement, we can help you find the right supplier. And they'll be able to assist you in understanding the products and services you use, understanding how you use your energy and utilities, knowing which meter types you have, getting accurate consumption information, identifying where energy is wasted, fully understanding your bills, and just generally achieving a better overall understanding of your energy and utilities usage across your estate. On to step 2, which is managing your demand. So when you can access and understand your data, you can then identify opportunities to manage your demand and reduce your consumption. Within this step, we've listed some efficiency measures that you may want to consider, and they range from actively managing out of hours consumption and identifying major users across your estate through to continually improving your energy and utilities management. It is important that you work with policy and sustainability teams and ensure that your FM providers are also taking action. Within step 2, HELGA can provide a list of specialist suppliers who can work with you to understand your energy consumption and to help spot anomalies across your estate using energy management systems and various reporting tools. And finally on to step 3, which is making the changes. So now you fully understand your estate and you have the basics for consumption reduction and managing demand, you can then look into wider energy schemes. And this step focuses on making some of the bigger changes to start you on your journey towards carbon net zero. Firstly, and most importantly, it's crucial to ensure that your estate is in good condition so that you gain full benefit from any of these suggested solutions. Once your estate is ready, you can work with policy and sustainability teams to consider what solutions will work best for your organisation. Within Service 1 of HELGA, there are a number of suppliers who can provide a range of consultancy services to help you in the decision-making process. So what is there available? As you can see on the slide, through our range of energy agreements, we can offer the routes to renewable energy, so that's solar generation through to PPAs, biofuels, heating, so heat networks and combined heat and power, building efficiency solutions, so smart thermostats through to enhanced building management systems, and finally further infrastructure such as battery storage and LED technology. The nature of the HELGA agreement allows you to tailor your specific energy project within the agreement service offerings. My colleague Phil will now talk you through the dynamics of the HELGA agreement and provide more details of the services available.
Thank you, Jan. So what is HELGA? Well, HELGA is the main CCS route for customers sourcing wider energy products and services. It stands for Heat Networks and Electricity Generation Assets, and it has been developed with energy demand management and generation in mind, but also offers access to a range of products and services, including but not limited to the list that you can see on your screen there. These offerings sit within 5 service areas and sub-filters as per a standard dynamic purchasing system, which I will outline in the next slides. These are the 5 service areas, or lots in standard framework terms, for customers to access pre-approved suppliers. Depending on your stage of a particular energy project, you can choose HELGA via Service 1, Energy Advisory, Design and/or Technical Services. This service is all about technical expertise relating to advice and/or design of an energy project. if you're looking at a feasibility study, for example. Service 2 relates to delivery services. This service is all about your installations and maintenance of a particular asset or system, such as a solar panel or combined heat and power system. Service 3 specifically looks at energy purchase agreements. This service provides suppliers who can assist with power purchase or heat purchase PPA agreements, whether via a direct wire or an indirect wire. CCS has recently published guidance on the things to consider when procuring a PPA contract, which is available on our website, but will be shared with all participants after the webinar. Service 4 looks at the commoditized products. This service is all about purchase of a piece of kit. So for example, if you have a surplus funds at the end of a financial year, you may wish to purchase solar panels, for example, which can then be installed or replaced within your individual organisation's timelines. And finally, Service 5 relates to one-stop shop. This is designed to ensure customers and suppliers are aware of the ability to run an end-to-end project. So perhaps you may have a requirement for a solar installation, but require a feasibility study to kick-start the project. That same supplier can then follow up with the design and installation of the assets, and following that, look to set up a power purchase agreement. Here are all the filter options included within the 5 service areas of HELGA. This is taken from our customer guidance document, which you can find on the CCS Agreements page. And as you can see, this is a far-reaching agreement that covers a number of energy products and services. And these filters are high level, which allow you to tailor your specification requirements to individual needs. And this is the main advantage of a dynamic purchasing system, which we will discuss later on in the session. If you are unsure of what filter option to select, please contact CCS via our customer service centre, and we will gladly advise on the recommended filters based on your project. So making the changes, so referring back to the step 3 of the Carbon Net Zero guide, we wanted to outline how HELGA can provide you with a compliant route to accessing suppliers who can install, maintain and support your wider energy innovation projects such as wind turbines, heating systems and heat pumps. Whether you're a central government organisation or NHS trust or local authority, having an understanding of your estate's energy consumption data is vital to providing that platform to making the physical changes such as these, which will help towards your carbon net zero strategy. I will now discuss the functionality of the HELGA DPS and how you as a customer can use the agreement to help your energy procurement strategy by sourcing the right supplier for your energy projects. So how is a DPS different from a traditional framework? Well, as energy projects and technologies are constantly evolving, the DPS allows suppliers to update their offerings at any time and allows new suppliers in the market to join throughout the lifetime of the HELGA agreement. This approach provides greater opportunities for SME organisations and local suppliers, as well as more choices for yourselves. This flexibility allows you to tailor your requirements to your specific energy project and can allow you to develop your pricing at call for competition stage. However, the DPS process does not allow for direct award, and all customers accessing HELGA are required to run a further competition which can help you get the most appropriate contract and supplier for your energy project. So the function of the HELGA DPS. This slide shows the overarching function and steps for a dynamic purchasing system. Suppliers can register at any time. They are then assessed by the CCS sourcing team based on their financial standing and accreditation evidence. If they meet the required standards, they will then be appointed as a supplier. This process takes on average 10 to 15 days and allows customers to access an ever-growing and innovative list of suppliers. If there are any suppliers that you would like to register onto the agreement prior to your procurement, please contact us and we can assist the supplier with registering onto HELGA. But as a reminder, all procurement via HELGA has to be run via a further competition. For you, the customer, you can register as a buyer at any time. Select your filter options and export the appropriate list of suppliers to match your specification. But please note, the DPS is not used for running a call for competition, just for supplier selection. The next slide will show how this process fits in with the overall procurement journey. As an organisation, you should have an understanding of your requirements depending on the stage of your carbon reduction strategy. You can then register and access as a buyer on the DPS and begin your procurement by logging in and filtering your requirements. You will then export the list of suppliers to contact depending on what stage you are at of your procurement. You may also wish to use the exported list to do some pre-market engagement with your suppliers, but please bear in mind that you will need to rerun the filter once you begin your actual procurement. Make sure you have a defined specification prior to contacting the suppliers. We have a specification template and recommendations within our customer guidance that are available to use at any time. Once you are satisfied with your specification, issue your call for competition via an e-sourcing system or email. The CCS e-sourcing system is free to use to assist your procurement if you would like to use our platform. After initial evaluation, award to the successful supplier and publish accordingly. If you have any questions at any stage of your project, please contact CCS. Now you have an understanding of the HELGA customer journey, we wanted to provide you with some screenshots of what you will see when registering onto the DPS. So visit our DPS registration page as outlined here and select the Utilities and Fuels section. This will bring you to the HELGA area where you will select Access as a buyer and follow the registration steps. The first person to register within an organisation will need to authorise any subsequent users for security purposes before you receive your username confirmation. However, if you have any difficulties registering, please contact the software platform host NQC, whose contact details are at the bottom of the DPS site page. Once you have access, to create a filtered list of suppliers for your energy project, select Create New Category Export. This will bring you to the main filter page where you will select your product filter and any additional filters such as location, if you wish to source a local supplier, for example, or contract value. Select Save Category, then this will allow you to export the list of suppliers' contact details. Please bear in mind, due to the ever-changing list of suppliers and their offerings, that this exported list has to be used within 48 hours. Here are some of the useful brochures available to assist you when using HELGA. The first is what we've referenced a number of times throughout today's session, is the customer guidance document, which can be found on our agreements page. The document explains how to initially access the agreement, obtain potential suitable suppliers, and how to issue a specification. Within the guidance, there's also an overview of the products and services listed, as we outlined previously in the session, as well as example timetables for a call of competition, specification writing guidance, document checklist before issuing invitation to tender, and an evaluation matrix and score definitions template to assist you in your procurement. These templates are high level and designed to support your specific projects, but if you have any questions, please contact CCS. We have also produced a number of step-by-step guides relating to specific energy projects, such as solar installation and energy efficiency in buildings, to help guide you through the correct HELGA filters. And finally, as a standalone project, we have produced a set of documents for power purchase agreements. Our introduction to PPAs outlines the main topics to ensure public sector buyers understand what they need to consider when looking to procure a PPA. This and the step-by-step guides are available on the CCS website within the energy section. I'll now pass you back over to Jan, who will provide an overview of the further help available to organisations looking to use HELGA for their wider energy projects.
We thought it may be useful for you to see which of the public sectors are currently using HELGA. And though the majority of contracts are from central government at the moment, we want to emphasise that this agreement is open to all wider public sector organisations, but just to note it does exclude Scottish public bodies. So there have been numerous awards now through HELGA, covering a wide range of energy products and services. The most popular has been around energy technical specific projects, but there's also been contracts for heat networks, energy efficiency in buildings, solar and smart metering, as well as combined heat and power. And as we mentioned at the start of the presentation, HELGA has a wide range of offerings that are able to help you with your carbon net zero strategy. So some of the things that you may want to consider, such as how important is carbon net zero in your organisation's energy strategy, and where does demand management fit in with that? And what stage of the carbon net zero journey are you at the moment? And could you be looking at more collaboration across your departments? And what percentage of your finances are going towards carbon net zero? And are there any funding models that you could be looking at and perhaps accessing? And then what next is to have a look at our carbon net zero guide and also have a look at the HELGA agreement and see where that can help you. And please remember that the HELGA team and our business development managers are available to help and to provide you with guidance. There are also other CCS energy frameworks that you may be interested in looking at relating to the supply of energy, water, vehicle charging infrastructure and also national fuels. More details regarding those are on the CCS website, including the recently published Vehicle Charging Infrastructure and Carbon Net Zero webinar and guide. You can find more information regarding future CCS energy webinars that the teams will be holding during the coming weeks on the Eventbrite page. So finally, we hope that you found this webinar useful in highlighting the way that HELGA can help provide you with a compliant route to market for your wider energy schemes and requirements. This slide shows the contact details for our customer service centre, and there's also some other links that you may find useful. So the first one is to the general energy page on our website, and that's for all energy related products and services. The second one will take you to the DPS Agreements page, and it's there you're able to register as a buyer. And then the third one is to the HELGA Agreements page on the website. A copy of the slides and the recording of this webinar will be made available to everyone who's attended today's session. And then if you have any queries, please email our customer service centre, and they're info@crowncommercial.gov.uk. So thank you again for attending today's webinar, and we look forward to hearing from you.